This journal is making my life easy because it has the entire 12-week year structure set up for me already in a format that's easy. I can take it with me wherever I go. Okay, so I just want to do a very quick review for the Phoenix Planner. Actually, it's more like my first impressions of this journal. So I bought this journal on Amazon. I bought it for two reasons. I bought one for myself and I gifted one for Christmas. What I loved about this planner is I was looking for something that I do still want to track my monthly and my weekly and my daily plans. I like to organize things in that way. But in addition to that, I've been super interested in doing the 12-week year process, and I can never really get it set up the way that works best for me. Like, I'm a hard copy, like notebook type of person. So I was looking through, I was doing a lot of digging on Amazon because I'm like really serious about this. And I found this planner. And the cool thing about this planner is they specifically called out that the planner is based off of the 12-week year. That's the structure that they're following. So that was perfect for me. I have found it difficult to set up the 12-week year in a way that works best for me. And just having this hard copy in a notebook like this actually is right up my alley. So I'm going to do a quick flip through just so you can get a sense of what's in here. It this is not gonna be the best, but it does start out with just like this intro page, and they have a website that gives you more in-depth instructions on how to use the spreads. They give you instructions for how to use your journal here. So it has all the steps so you can know what to expect in this process. I like that they give you some background information. If you've never read the 12-week year, they have some different premises that they're going through here. And then they explain how all the steps need to go. What does your 12-week goal setting need to look like? What are the actions you need to take and the goals they're showing you and giving you the background information that you need to know? And really, this is just a TLDR of the 12-week year. And then from there, you're going to jump in to write your vision. So they have some promptings for you to write your vision. So you'll write your vision. Then you'll write a future that you fear. You'll get into your 1 year vision. And then here's your 12-week vision. So after you've done those steps of like really where do you want to see yourself and what kind of life do you want to be living at those points, then you get in here and you can actually set up all your goals. So you have your goal 1, 2, etc. Actually, in a 12-week year, they wouldn't recommend you have more than 4 goals. There's only 4. So this planner is a 12-week planner. And it's very intentionally a 12-week planner too. So you can see when you get past your goals, you should set up your targets for each week, your key actions you need to hit each week. You'll have those for all 12 weeks. So yeah, this does resemble a calendar, but this is not intended to be a monthly calendar in the same way that we would normally look at. This is broken up by weeks. So each month is really only 4 weeks. So if you're the type of person that's like super anal about having enough boxes for the month on these pages, maybe this is not the planner for you. Again, this is based off of the 12-week year. So they're not going to give you like 3 months. They're going to give you 12 weeks. And you should be going through the process with that in mind. So once you get past your 12 weeks and you have everything laid out, then you'll be able to go ahead and take a look at your week and break your week down. And then your ideal day. So every day is set up this way where you have an area where you can lay out your schedule for the day, and it goes in 30-minute increments as well. It's a good time range on it because it goes from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. basically. And if you're like me and you're trying to join the 5 a.m. club, this is literally perfect. I wouldn't ever put any extra hours outside of this on my schedule personally because I'm at a point where I'm like, I have to sleep. I prioritize sleeping for 7 hours a night. And the earliest I would pretty much get up is at 5 a.m. So this gives me like all of the time slots that I need perfectly for myself, which is just like awesome. And then it also has this little tracker, which is right here. This actually make sure that every day you remember to check in. You're supposed to read your vision and your goals and review your weekly targets and your habit tracker. You're supposed to do those every single day. So this makes sure that you don't forget that process. And I also love that they focus on gratitude and they focus on giving yourself kudos for your accomplishments and things like that, because I think it's one thing to get into planning and always be marching towards new goals, but a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for the things that we have done. I know I'm like that. So I really loved that they were making sure that you're not just working on your goals and your plans, but you also are reminding yourself of the things that you have accomplished thus far. And then they do have a motivational quote at the top of the page every day as well. I don't know, I just love that because I felt like I was thinking about that. Maybe I'll start like having a quote every day to post or something like that, just for myself, even for motivation. And so I just thought that was even a nice little bonus that they had. So yeah, once you have gone through that, you pretty much have all your daily spreads laid out for you. And then they give you some extra. You have, here you go. You have reflection at the end of your 12 weeks. You have reflection so you can go through and reflect, because you always supposed to have a reflection week at the end of your 12-week year. And then just a bunch of blank pages in here that you can use for extra notes. And then there's a couple things at the back as well. So in the back is where you have your vision board. You have a habit tracker back here. So you can pick which habits that you want to do, and then you can go to 33 days, like the amount of time it should take you to establish a habit. And then you also have a project roadmap here. This journal doesn't really cover, it doesn't have enough pages to really plan out your entire year as far as the actual monthly and weekly spreads, but it does have a project roadmap so you can actually map out for the entire year what it's going to look like. And I find that to be really helpful because I'm used to carrying all 12 months with me at one time, sometimes carrying 18 months at a time. So I do feel like I'm still going to benefit from being able to have that higher level picture without getting too distracted. And then they have areas for you to set up what you want your routines to be for the morning and for the evening. And then in addition to that, pick your specific habits that you want, like maybe 2 habits that you want to develop, and drill into the 2 habits that you really want to develop over these 12 weeks, and then look at what does it look like to be successful with that. They also have an area to jot down books you want to read or any extra ideas that you might have. So these are just little bonuses, I think. And then they had the page, this last page, which is important dates. So with the important dates, pretty much if there's things that come up, you can keep track of them if this is the only journal that you're using. And they even have a resources or references at the end. I didn't notice that. So overall, I'm really excited to use this planner. I think that it's going to put my 12-week year execution on autopilot. As long as I'm following through the journal, then I should be following the system successfully. And then from there, I could just focus on what I do best, which is actually trying to achieve the goals. Another thing I like about this is if you don't have any experience with the 12-week year or the different premises that they're talking about in this planner or that they base the planner on, they have those pages at the beginning, which basically gives you some idea of what to expect and why some of these things are important. So you get like that Cliff Notes version without having to go down the rabbit hole of reading those books. But again, like I mentioned, I do recommend, if nothing else, if you decide to get this planner, try it out. But if you have the time, go ahead and read the 12-week year or listen to it on audio. So I have the 12-week year on Audible. I'll post links to this and to 12-week year. I have links to those in the description. I just listened to the 12-week year again last week just because I knew that this book is following that format. Even though I know what the 12-week year is, I still felt like it would be good for me to be refreshed on exactly what the process is that you're supposed to go through. That way I have context for it as I'm going through my journal. So it's really sweet. All in all, quality wise, I don't think there's a lot of ghosting in the pages. You probably don't want to use anything that's going to bleed through the pages, but the pages are pretty good quality. I could see how the binding might be a little bit delicate. So I have seen reviews where some people's pages were coming out. I have not had that issue in my notebook at all. So I got this one. So I have a black and a red bookmark. So those are useful. You have a pen loop as well, which is good, really nice and convenient. It's a pretty thick pen loop. There's no pocket in the back or anything like that. And like that very last page where the references were, let me see if I can flip to it. Like this, the last page. Those are really the only pages that can't just like open flat. So you can see, even holding it in my hand, I could pretty much get my pages to lay flat depending on where I am. Right. It's pretty good overall. So let's see. If I smooth that out, that's just gonna lay flat. Yeah, I think quality wise, like the material on here looks nice. The design looks nice. It looks really clean and classic. Like I wouldn't never be ashamed to pull this out in a business meeting or something like that. I got the black one just because I just wanted something that didn't draw attention to itself whenever I'm in meetings. I wanted something that just looked classic and executive. So that's why I got the black one. I also bought like they have a reddish leather one. I also felt like that gave executive as well. So those were the two that I chose to buy, but they have some other colors as well. Like I said, it is a 12-week planner. So if you are looking for something that's like you really want a 12-month or something like that, this isn't for you. Highly recommend. I'm looking forward to this. I'm so excited about it. And I also posted a separate video where I just talked about what my goals are for the year. And then I talked a little bit more about how I'm going to be using my planner and why I'm going about this process and why this is important to me. So if you just want to know a little bit more about that and just get into the idea of planning or being inspired and motivated by how I'm trying to walk this journey out, try some things I'm trying, then definitely check that video out. I'm going to leave a link to the Phoenix Planner in the description, and I'll also leave a link to the 12-week year. Like I said, you can either just read a hard copy of that book, or you can actually do Audible, which only takes about 4 hours to listen to it on Audible. I put it on like 1.7 speed last time just because I've been through it before. Yeah, and I would say make sure that if you want to commit to this at the very beginning, the pages that you have where you're doing your vision planning, you definitely want to have time to do those. There are about 6 activities that you go through before you actually start to use your planner on a daily basis. And they estimate for you to just give yourself at least an hour for each of those activities. So it might not take you the full hour, but just think about that. Give yourself an afternoon, give yourself some time to make sure that you are going through. Don't skip over the vision. Don't skip over the visions at all. The visions are the most important thing. And if you read the 12-week year, you will understand that they always tell you to start with your vision. So I'm just going to say that I am typically a happy planner kind of girl these days. I have been really into bullet journaling over the years as well, but I was struggling to fit the 12-week year like system into my happy planner system without having to basically physically make all my own spreads. So maybe in the future, I would like emulate this journal and find a way to incorporate it into my happy planner. But for now, I think like I don't have to be that complicated. This journal is making my life easy because it has the entire 12-week year structure set up for me already in a format that's easy. I can take it with me wherever I go. I don't have to have a charger. And yeah, I just think why not try it, see what works for me. And I know no matter how my experience is with this process, I'm going to gain something from it. I'm going to learn something from it. So that's the most important part. Yeah, so go check out the other video where I talk more about my goals. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.